Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. It is time for the very first new in beauty video of the year. I'm super pumped. If this is one of your first times here to my channel, this is a series I do every month where we talk about new beauty launches, news in the beauty community. I give you my thoughts on things and whether or not I'm going to pick them up. It is inspired by Samantha March's Will I Buy It series that she does on her channel every single week. So if you haven't seen that, which I'm sure that you probably have, but just in case, I will link her playlist for you guys in the description box of this video in case you want to check it out. But yeah, a new year, a new decade is here, and a lot of exciting things have happened in the beauty community in the last couple of weeks, so we have got lots to talk about. I actually had originally planned to film this video a week ago, but I woke up on January 2nd with a lovely case of pink eye, so that was really fun, and therefore I could not wear any eye makeup for, a few days while I took antibiotics and kind of cleared that situation up. So this video is coming a little bit later than I had anticipated. This is why there was only one video that went up on my channel last week. I was unable to film last weekend, and since I have a new job and I'm working full-time again, the weekends are pretty much the only time I have to film. However, it kind of ended up being a blessing in disguise because so much launched within the last week that I would have missed if I filmed last weekend. So we're gonna take the silver lining approach and say the universe wanted me to wait so we can chat about all of this new beauty goodness together today. To that point, there is so much we have to cover, so I'm sure this video is going to be long without me rambling on as much as I already have been, so let's jump right into it. So first I wanted to talk about a little bit of news, a couple of updates, things that I noticed that I'm really excited about. So if you haven't already noticed, Ulta is carrying a few new brands in 2020 that are really exciting, or well, they're at least exciting to me. So you can now purchase Laura Mercier, Way, and Belief products at Ulta. If you are not a longtime subscriber of mine, you may not be aware of my obsession with the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Foundation. This is one of my OG Holy Grail products. I've been using it for several years now, and I really like this because I have oily skin and it lasts so well on me and makes my skin look beautiful without it being overly heavy and cakey. But this little guy is very expensive. I don't remember if it's $48 or $50 something. It's not cheap either way. And previously I would usually buy this from Sephora because Laura Mercier was only carried at Sephora or at various department stores that I don't typically shop at much anyway. But now I'll be able to use my Ulta points to repurchase this when I need to restock in the future, and that is major for me. Ulta has the best rewards program. Points that you earn on your purchases there, you can redeem for money off of a purchase, and when you save up 2,000 Ulta points, it redeems for $125 that you can use towards literally anything in the store, and you can stack it with coupons. So usually that's what I wait for. I wait for a 20% off everything including prestige, and then basically get $150 worth of free stuff. It's awesome. So just knowing that I have even more options now to shop at Ulta makes me super excited. Another thing that I was so excited to hear is that Commodity Fragrances is coming back. So maybe, I don't know, 6-7 months ago or so, I shared that I had discovered the Commodity Gold perfume. I smelled it basically kind of by happenstance in Sephora one day. I was just kind of perusing. I was bored, so I was just walking around the store having a good time, smelling different perfumes because I just felt like doing that, and happened to stumble upon this and absolutely fell in love. I had them make me a sample. I wore it for a week and was absolutely just completely enamored, but it was very expensive, so I didn't buy it. I basically said it was something I would ask for my birthday. And then one random day, I was on the Sephora website, maybe a month or so later, and saw that it was clearanced, marked down, I don't know, I think at least 50% off. So I immediately ran to my local Sephora because it was already sold out online, and managed to snag one of the only 2 bottles left in the store at a great discount, which I was super excited about. But I then promptly found out that the reason it was so cheap was that the brand was going out of business and it wasn't going to be available anymore, and I was minorly crushed. Like, there's nothing worse than discovering a product and absolutely falling in love with it to only then immediately find out that it's being discontinued and you're not going to be able to get it anymore. So I have been kind of like nursing this bottle since I got it, because I've been under the impression that this is like the last bottle of this perfume I will ever be able to have in existence, and I am so in love with how it smells that like I want it to last forever. But I was scrolling through Facebook the other day and I happened to see that apparently the brand has been purchased by another company called Euro Perfumes, I believe, and they are going to be relaunching the brand under this new owner, which is awesome news. I immediately wrote on their post and was like, please tell me that you will still be carrying gold when you do the rebrand. And they said, yes, it's their best-selling perfume and it will be coming back. So that is a huge win. Now I don't feel guilty talking about this on my channel anymore, because I didn't want to hype up something that none of you guys could get. But apparently now this will be available again. I don't know when, but hopefully sometime in 2020, this will be coming back. Also, because I realized I didn't actually say what this smells like, as I'm just raving about how amazing it is. This particular scent is a very sweet, gourmand, kind of vanilla sort of scent, but it's like a sexy vanilla. It's similar to the Atelier Cologne Vanilla and Sensé, but maybe a little more amber and a little less straightforward vanilla. It's just, ooh, it's so good. If you like those kind of sweet, warm, sexy scents, you probably would love this. So while we're talking about Sephora, let's chat a little bit about the 2020 birthday gifts. So those just recently got announced. Obviously, now that it's 2020, people who have January birthdays should be able to cash in on these. And it looks like this year they've actually given us more options for birthday gifts than they have in the past. Typically, they would have like one makeup gift and then one skincare gift if you didn't want the makeup one. But this year, it looks like we have 4 different gift options to choose from, although one of them is only available if you're a VIB or VIB Rouge member. So the makeup gift this year is going to be from Milk Makeup. It looks like you get a little mini of their blush stick, as well as a mini of their Kush mascara, and then like a little foil packet of the Hydro Grip primer. And then the skincare gift isn't really actually a skincare gift. It's really more of a body product, but I think a lot of people are going to be super stoked for this. So this year they are partnering with Sol de Janeiro, and you can get 2 little mini versions of their most popular body lotions. So the Boom Boom Cream and the Copacabana Cream, which has apparently been reformulated with a different scent that doesn't smell like buttered popcorn Jelly Belly jelly beans. And then the third option, which I feel like previously they didn't do this, or maybe they did and I just didn't notice, but they also are partnering with Briogeo to give you the option of some hair care samples. So you can get a mini of their Don't Despair Repair Deep Conditioning mask that is like one of their cult classic products, if not like the most popular thing that they make. And then a mini of their charcoal like scalp detox exfoliating shampoo. So all 3 of these are like really trendy, popular brands. I think a lot of people are going to be excited and definitely will find one of those 3 gifts appealing. I personally am probably gonna opt for the Briogeo. I don't know. I'm torn between the Briogeo and the Sol de Janeiro. I already have a full size of the Boom Boom Cream, so I feel like getting the little mini is not as necessary for me. I really want to try the detoxifying scalp shampoo from Briogeo, and I've been wanting to try that for a really long time, so that makes me more inclined to go the Briogeo route. However, I feel like those samples for a hair care product are going to be really tiny. So I feel like as far as actual value goes, the Briogeo is probably the least worth it, because you're probably going to get the least uses out of those products. And then the 4th option that I didn't mention yet is a Jo Malone fragrance. I believe they're going to be gifting a little mini version of the Wood Sage and Sea Salt cologne. Now, I know that one is super, super popular. I have smelled it before, but it's not my personal favorite just because it is a little bit more of a neutral clean kind of scent, and I obviously tend to lean more towards the like super feminine or sweet type of scents. So that one I think is probably the best monetary value of everything, which is probably why it's only available to VIB and VIB Rouge members. I just don't know that it's worth it for me to pick that up. But if you are a VIB or VIB Rouge member, definitely keep that in mind, because I haven't seen it really advertised super well. I just happened to notice it when I went to the rewards section of the Sephora website. So moving along, while we're talking about Sol de Janeiro, let's talk about their latest product launch. So they are finally venturing out of the bath and body realm into hair care. They're launching their first shampoo and conditioner duo. These are going to be called the Brazilian Joia Strengthening and Smoothing Shampoo and Conditioner. Each one of them retails for $25, but it does look like on the Sephora website you can buy a set that has both full-size products along with a travel size of their body splash that's in the Boom Boom Cream scent for $45. So that definitely seems like the way to go if you're going to try this product, because you're not only saving $5, but you're also getting an extra product. Like, whether you want to keep it for yourself or gift it to somebody else, like, that seems to me like kind of a no-brainer as long as it's still in stock. So as far as the claims of this goes, it is a sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner duo. It is supposed to obviously help to improve the strength of your hair, help to make it shiny and soft, and it smells like the Bum Bum Cream, which honestly is probably going to be a large reason why a lot of people buy this. I personally don't usually splurge on luxury shampoos and conditioners. If I am going to spend money on hair care, I usually would rather buy a styling product, because I feel like I notice the biggest difference. And to that point, if I was going to spend that kind of money on shampoo and conditioner, the set that I have my eye on right now is the Playa shampoo and conditioner. I got some samples in a Sephora order that I placed last month, and I tried it out, and it is incredible. The texture of the shampoo is so luxurious and thick, and it leaves your hair feeling so soft and not dry at all. It's incredible, and it also smells like just expensive, sexy hair. To that point, if I'm gonna spend $50 on hair care, that is what I want. I don't think I would probably go out and buy this. Also, because the reviews on Sephora's website right now are like not the best. The conditioner looks like it has really good reviews. People seem to really like that, but there are several reviews right now on the Sephora website saying that the shampoo is very drying and that it left their hair feeling like straw, or that it left their hair not feeling clean enough and that it felt like it had product buildup in it. So that immediately kind of turns me off to this. Like, I really didn't need to spend the money on this anyway, and now I'm even more dubious. If I was given a sample, would I try it? Absolutely, but I don't think I would go out of my way to buy it to try it. Next, I want to talk about Bite Beauty. There's a lot going on with Bite, and I think we all kind of knew that this was coming. I had mentioned in a previous video about how I picked up some of their products on Uber clearance because I had heard through the grapevine that they were going all vegan, so they were retiring all of their existing lip product formulas, much to my dismay. And it looks like now all of these replacement products have launched, with the exception of a bullet lipstick replacement. They don't have that yet. I'm sure that will be coming soon though. So now Bite Beauty is completely vegan in addition to being cruelty-free, which they already were. It seems from their marketing that they're pushing that they are a clean brand, which kind of was already my impression. Like, when they initially launched, their whole shtick was that they used all food-grade ingredients in their lip products, which I thought was really awesome. But now they are like putting that extra emphasis on being clean in addition to being vegan and cruelty-free, which I think is great. Like, I am all for brands being more ethical. However, I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that they are going completely vegan, because I really, really liked so many of their products. And from what I've seen so far, as far as reviews go of their new stuff, I don't know that it's going to be as good as it used to be. So ultimately, I do feel really torn, because on one hand, I totally can get behind the ethical decision to go vegan and to not promote the mistreatment of animals. I personally am not vegan or vegetarian, so it is not a cause that I know I directly support in my own actions, but like, I totally can get behind a brand making that choice. But as a person that is not vegan, it does kind of stink to see a product that is one of your favorite things get discontinued. Like, I totally would have supported maybe if they added a vegan version of various products in their line. I think that would have been amazing, just so that way people had the option. But taking away the option completely kind of stinks for those of us that really enjoyed their original products. Anyway, rant over about the lip stuff. On a more positive note, Bite also has announced that they are expanding for the first time ever into complexion products, which is really, really cool. On one hand, I do really like the idea of a niche brand and the fact that they like exclusively did lips and they did it really, really well. But I can also appreciate that that's not necessarily the most sustainable business model, and that as a beauty brand in today's market where things are super competitive, you kind of need to be like expanding your horizons. So I think it's cool that they decided to add complexion onto their existing line. So they are coming out with a new primer, foundation, and concealer. If you aren't subscribed to Samantha Ravndal, she did a video talking about all of these products and basically raving about them. Like, she's been hinting at this foundation launch for a while and not letting us know like what it was or what brand she had fallen in love with, but it seems like she really, really enjoys these products. So I will link her video that she demos all of these in the description box in case you'd like to see it. But basically, it seems like they are trying to create a very universal complexion line with products that can be used by anybody. So you have the Changemaker Skin Optimizing Primer for $38. There are two versions of this available, one for normal to dry skin and one for normal to oily. And according to Sephora / what Sam said in her video, this is a product that's meant to bring your skin back to neutral. So if you're a little too dry or a little too oily, you pick the primer that's right for you and it will help to balance your skin back to normal. And if your skin is normal, I don't really know what you're supposed to pick. I guess you could probably use either, depending on which one you like the texture of better. And then they have the Changemaker Supercharged Micellar Foundation for $39.50. This is supposed to have a very satin, natural skin-like finish. It has a medium level of coverage and is supposed to be good for all skin types. I think the idea being that you rebalance your skin with the primer and then you put the foundation on, so it should work perfectly on anyone because the primer is supposed to like fix your skin issues in the first place. And this also has a really, really great shade range. It's very balanced. You're not seeing 30 shades of light and like a few random dark shades. It's very well spread out, and there are also different undertones available in each section of the skincare spectrum, so I think that is really cool. And then finally, they have the Changemaker Flexible Coverage Pressed Powder for $36 that comes in 8 shades, and this is supposed to help to control shine and keep your makeup locked in and looking nice throughout the day, as well as adding a little bit of extra coverage, or you can kind of build on more coverage depending on however much powder you layer on top. So overall, I really like the aesthetic. I like the pink packaging. I think that it's super cute. I like the fact that they went for a formula that is not super polarizing and that should work for a lot of people. I think we're going to see in 2020 a lot more natural looking products. I feel like we had a moment with Super Dewy and we had a moment with Super Matte Everything, and I think now everybody's kind of looking more for that Goldilocks middle of the road, so I think this is very on trend. However, there is one thing that is particularly concerning / annoying to me. So I was looking at the ingredients list of the foundation specifically, and it looks like they added fragrance. So you both can see fragrance / perfume listed, as well as like linalool and limonene, which are at the end of the list. And this to me makes absolutely no sense, especially since they're like gung-ho, we're making really clean, safe, good for you products. Like, why would you put fragrance in foundation? It's so unnecessary. Like, I know, yes, I use this today, the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. This is super heavily fragranced and it's entirely unnecessary. The reason that I like this isn't because of the scent that's in it, it's because of the way that it finishes on my skin and the way that it wears. The scent is nice, but it can be super irritating, and it's just not a thing that I feel like is great for your skin, so I don't know why brands would choose to do that. So knowing that this is like a brand new product and they're trying to be really innovative and forward thinking, like, why, Bite? Why did you need to put scent in your foundation? Like, that immediately may exclude some people who have really sensitive skin from using this product. Still, I will admit that I am curious. I don't think that I will go out and buy it. I am very much against buying foundation to try it whenever possible, because if the formula doesn't end up working out for me or the shade doesn't end up working out for me, I feel like it ends up being insanely wasteful, because most of the time I'm not going to be able to pass that product along to somebody else in my life because someone might not have the same skin tone as me. And if I return it to the store, it's just going to get thrown away. So whenever possible, I like to try to get a sample of foundation and try it and see if I like it before I go out and purchase it. So I think that's what I will do with this Bite foundation. Like, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't curious, especially after Sam raved and raved and raved about it. But I know that I don't need to purchase foundation right now regardless. So I think I will just quell my curiosity by having them make me a sample. I can let you guys know what I think of it and like how strong the scent actually is and whether or not I feel like it's barely detectable and maybe not so much of an issue, or if it's like really in your face. And then if it's something that I absolutely fall in love with, I can always add it to my wish list and purchase it later on in the year once I've used up more of what I have on hand. The primer and the powder, however, I think I'm probably going to skip altogether. Honestly, I've come to this point with primer especially where I feel like I just shouldn't buy it. I have plenty on hand, and honestly, it's not a thing that I enjoy testing all that much, especially if I'm constantly trying to test new foundations, concealers, and powders. I feel like if you're adding too many variables into the mix, it's hard to tell what is doing what. So I'm just content to sticking to using my Coats primer. This is a sunscreen and primer in one. So it basically saves me an extra step when I'm getting ready in the mornings. I like it a lot. So I feel like, why change a good thing? Like, why fix it if it's not broken, you know? So I don't really feel the need to go out and purchase this primer. And then the powder, I do really enjoy powders in general, but I have a lot on hand that I need to get through. So that is something I know I won't really be able to sample. So I think for now, I'm just gonna skip over it. Maybe I'll like swatch it in the store and see how it feels, but it's something that for right now, I don't think I need to pick up. While we're on the topic of complexion, another launch that I think a lot of people are excited about is the new Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. This retails for $34, which for a concealer is a lot of money. Like, you can get foundations for that much money. So that immediately already gives me a pause. But at the same time, it is Hourglass. They are a more luxury brand. They generally have a higher price point. So it makes sense within their line that it would cost that much. I just personally don't love seeing that number. And this was another product that Sam raved about. I'm pretty sure in the same video actually as her Bite video. She was trying out a bunch of different products. I know that she used that and said that it gave really, really beautiful flawless coverage for the under eye and that it wasn't too dry or cakey or heavy. So that again also intrigues me because I do really like a good concealer, and I feel like a lot of the ones I tried in 2019 were just like too heavy and too dry, and I didn't really discover any new favorites. So this is something that could end up being really fantastic. However, it is very expensive. You don't get a lot of product. You only get 6 mils, which for comparison, this guy here, the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, this has 15 milliliters of product, so more than double, and this is $29 and the Hourglass is $34. So like, by far, if you're looking for bang for your buck, this is my recommendation. This is like one of my favorite concealers I've ever tried. I think it's really beautiful and you just get so much product for your money. This would last you like a whole year with daily use, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, needless to say, this is something that does look pretty. It's something that I am curious about. I'm not going to jump on it, but I would love to know if any of you guys have picked this up, what you think of it. So something super, super new that's also very exciting for the beauty community and kind of additionally on the complexion train is Tati Beauty's latest product. So Tati just recently announced this on her channel, but Tati Beauty is launching their second product, and this time it is actually not makeup, but it is a beauty tool, and it seems really interesting. It's called the Blendiful, and it actually is a 2-pack of blending products. It's not even like a blending sponge, and it's not a powder puff either. It's kind of a weird hybrid product between those two things. It is closer to a powder puff, but it has a more unique texture, it seems, and a more unique shape and size. So apparently what the Blendiful is it is a beauty tool that is supposed to be able to be used for applying all of the steps of your face products. So you can use it to apply primer, foundation, powder, bronzer, contour, blush, highlight, etc. Like you name it. It's supposed to be a super flexible tool, and it's supposed to give you a super airbrushed finish and have much more unique technology. So it seems pretty cool. Honestly, I feel like it seems less gimmicky than some other beauty tool launches, like silicone sponges. Can we talk about those for a minute? Like, why were those ever really a thing? Can you explain that to me, because I don't understand. Anyway, as a person that has really enjoyed using a powder puff, I actually picked up the Beauty Blender, like Pocket Puff or whatever it's called, their little sponge slash powder puff combo duo thing. I picked that up on Tati's recommendation actually, and I absolutely love it. I feel like it applies my powder so beautifully because it really presses it into the skin and into the foundation and melds them together and makes your skin look so airbrushed. So I can imagine that this product would have a similar effect because it is a similar type of deal. But what this has going for it that the Beauty Blender one doesn't is that it's A, bigger, and B, that it's more flexible. So you're supposed to be able to fold it and get it into like all the little nooks and crannies and around your under eye. So I definitely would love to try this at some point. I don't know that I'm gonna buy it right now. One of the things that kind of bothers me is the price point and also the cost of shipping. So it's $18 and you do get two. You get like the big standard size Blendiful and then like a little mini baby Blendiful. So for the money, I don't think that that's astronomical. I think the Beauty Blender sponge was $14 and it's a little bit smaller and you're only getting one. So this doesn't seem unreasonable to me. However, there is no option for free shipping on the Tati Beauty website, so the standard shipping in the US is $5, and when you're buying an $18 product, to add another $5 on for shipping kind of just annoys me because that's such like a large percentage of the price of the item in the first place. Like you're really jacking it up quite a bit to add that shipping charge on. So I don't know. I would love to support Tati. I would love to try it because it seems like a really innovative, interesting launch. But I kind of almost am tempted to like wait a little bit to see what else Tati Beauty launches, because I feel like if I'm gonna order from her website, I'd kind of like to do a lot at once. Like if I'm gonna pay the shipping, I'd like to only pay it once and get a few different things. And I don't really need her eyeshadow palette because I definitely have plenty of eyeshadow on hand. I like it, but I didn't feel super drawn to it, so I didn't decide to pick that up. So I kind of feel like it would be nice to see what the next thing is, and maybe if I want to buy that, I would buy that and the Blendiful at the same time. So let's move on from complexion and talk about something a little more fun. We have some new eye products launching from Fenty Beauty. These actually came out, I feel like, a few weeks ago, so at this point it feels like old news, which is crazy to say, but I still haven't talked about them yet, so we're gonna talk about them. So she first launched a line of like little mini eyeshadow palettes called the Snap Shadow palettes. They are 6-pan palettes. Each one retails for $25, or you can bundle them together and get two for $45, which I think is really cool. The whole gimmick with these is that they literally snap together, so you can purchase your favorite two color stories and then lock them in together, and then you have like one slightly larger customized palette with 12 different shades that you can throw in your bag, like if you want to take it with you on the go. So as far as the color stories go for these palettes, I would say they're very safe. They're very universally appealing. I think if a non-beauty enthusiast walked into a Sephora and saw the display of these eyeshadow palettes, they would probably like several of them. But I think for people that have a lot of makeup and that like more unique things, a lot of these would probably be a little boring. So for example, you have one that's kind of straight up neutral brown tones, you have one that's a little more pink purple, one that's a little more orangey red, one that's more straight pink, one that's a little more warm neutral, you have a smoky one. The one that caught my eye the most was one called Cadet, because when I saw the initial promo photos, that one did look more interesting. It looked like there was like a dark matte green and then kind of this cool duochrome like green gold light shimmery shade and then like a mustard yellow. So that one initially piqued my attention, but then I actually saw it in Sephora and it looked a lot more muted than it did online, and I was way less interested. So I personally will not be picking any of these up because none of them are really calling to me. I like the idea of a smaller palette. I think that they can be really, really handy, especially as a person now that's working full-time again. I feel like most mornings you just want easy, you're like decaffeinated, you're tired, you don't have a lot of time to get ready, and you just want to like not fuss and not think, these definitely have a lot of appeal in that respect. Or if you're the kind of person that like is doing your makeup in the parking lot of work because you're running late, this is the kind of thing you could throw in your bag and take with you on the go because it doesn't take up a lot of space. And it would be super easy. But I know I do have a few smaller palettes already on hand that serve that purpose for me, so none of these are necessary and none of the color stories are interesting enough to make it worth the money to me. But I do think that the price point is definitely reasonable. I will say the Huda Beauty Obsessions palettes are only a few dollars more, and you do get 9 shades instead of 6. So it's kind of hard for me to say that these are a better value than getting one of those if what you're looking for is a small palette. I haven't swatched these. I don't know what the formula is like, so I can't say whether or not they're superior to the Huda formula. But having tried one of the Huda little mini Obsessions palettes in the past, I did think it was really, really nice. So those I know are good and definitely could stand behind. These I'm a little bit more unsure about. All right, moving along, let's chat about ColourPop, our good friend ColourPop. I feel like every month they've got tons of new stuff coming out, so we might as well chat a little bit about that. The thing that I personally was most intrigued by is their new Mint to Be collection. I actually, confession, already picked this palette up. This is my first beauty purchase of 2020. I made a purchase on the ColourPop website. I bought a little bundle that had the palette along with 2 eyeliners, as well as the Virgo Moon lipstick and their blending sponge. The blending sponge had come highly recommended by Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun, so I really, really wanted to give that a try. And quite frankly, I love mint green, so as soon as I saw this palette, I was like, I need to have that. I definitely do not have an abundance of green eyeshadows, so I sort of felt like this was a purchase I didn't have to be super guilty about because it wasn't really redundant in my collection. And I love ColourPop's eyeshadow formula so much. It has been consistently one of the best eyeshadow formulas I have ever tried, and I feel like the price point is incredible. Honestly, there are many times where I feel like it's hard to justify buying a more expensive palette when I can find similar shades from ColourPop. So this Mint to Be palette is another one of their monochromatic 9-pan palettes, of which I have not been collecting. I actually just purchased my first palette from this series back in December from Ulta because I was, cashing in on 2,000 points, and I just happened to snag it before it sold out, so I was able to get it for free. But honestly, the $12 price point still is really, really reasonable. I used that guy for the first time ever the other day, and it was awesome, as I kind of expected. Again, ColourPop eyeshadows are top notch. So I am really, really excited actually to try this out just because I feel like the shades in here are really pretty. Yes, it's very monochromatic, but again, I love mint green. You have a nice balance in here of mattes and shimmers, and I don't really have shades like this anywhere else in my collection. So whether I use this to create a monochromatic green look or I use this as a supplement with other palettes, if I want to pull in a little pop of green, I feel like this will be really fun. Okay, and then finally to wrap things up, I just wanted to kind of briefly overview the insanity of new drugstore launches that are happening right now. I feel like I could do an entire 30-minute video just talking about the new drugstore products that I've seen cropping up on the Ulta website because there are so many of them, it's insane. So it seems like Physicians Formula and Milani are launching huge new collections. There seems to be a big focus on skincare. We got some CBD infused things. We have a lot of dewy natural stuff. You definitely can tell that both of these brands are capitalizing on some of the big trends that are hot in beauty right now. So to be honest, I haven't even had a chance to really delve into all of it because there is so much, but definitely let me know if you are curious about either of these brands and their new launches and what products specifically you have your eye on. I know from Physicians Formula, what caught my eye first were their new Skin Elixir foundation and their liquid blushes, because those are 2 products that I feel like I have enjoyed trying from other brands, so I may really like those. I don't know if I'm gonna pick them up, but they're on my radar. And Milani had some new eyeshadow palettes that looked really cool. I will say Milani did reach out to me maybe about a month or so ago, which was super awesome. So I think I may be getting some PR from them, but I haven't received it yet, so I have no idea what's coming and if I'm getting anything. That's kind of up in the air, but there is a possibility that I will be getting some new Milani products to test, so keep an eye out for that. And then I also noticed that a bunch of brands are launching like dewy hydrating versions of some of their popular products. So we have e.l.f. launching a hydrating version of their Camo concealer. You have Wet n Wild launching a dewy version of their Photofocus foundation. I also noticed that ColourPop finally brought their Pretty Fresh collection to Ulta. So overall, we can clearly see that 2020 is going to be a year of fresh, dewy, natural, juicy, hydrated looking skin, which honestly I can get behind. Even as a person with oily skin, I feel like that is just a very natural, pretty look. Yes, it requires a lot more maintenance. If your skin is oily, you need to touch up and you need to blot more throughout the day. But if you're willing to like do that extra work, I feel like, I don't know, it's just very refreshing compared to like a very, very super matte, flat, cakey looking appearance. All right, guys, so I think that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it so much, and I hope you enjoyed hearing about all these new beauty launches. Again, definitely let me know what you think of these things in the comments down below, and if any of these things are on your to-try list. And if you enjoyed this series and these types of videos, I hope you will consider giving this one a thumbs up. It always helps me so much. Gives that little Google algorithm some kind of a sign that, hey, maybe you should recommend this video to other people to watch. So if you feel so inclined, I would really appreciate it if you did that. And if you're new here to my channel and you would like to see my face show up in your subscription feed so you can come hang out with me again, I hope you will consider clicking that button before you go. As an aside, I did also film another video right before I filmed this one, doing the face of makeup that I'm wearing right now and talking about my 2020 beauty resolutions. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to post this video before I post that one. So that video should be going up on my channel later this week. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, on that note, I'm gonna let you guys go, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.